Hot shaking, my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay, and today I have a large unhaul for you again. So the last time that I unhauled on this channel was September, and that was quite a large unhaul, and I have accumulated a lot of books since then that I have read and not necessarily cared for. As I've said many a times on this channel, is that I am trying to curate my shelves to books that I absolutely love, and so if I didn't absolutely love it, it's going to be unhauled. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I have The Survivors by Jane Harper. I enjoyed this book, but again, it's a mystery thriller. I don't feel the need to keep these around. Pretending to Dance by Diane Chamberlain. I never read this, and I just kind of lost interest in it. If I want it, I'll get it from the library. The Widow by Fiona Barton. I think that this is the one that I haven't read by her, but again, if I want to read it, I can get it from the library. He Said, She Said by Erin Kelly. Another one that I have not read, but again, mystery thriller. If I want to read it in the future, I can get it from the library. The Girl with All the Gifts, I read in January, and I absolutely positively really did enjoy this book, but while I enjoyed it, I don't feel the need to keep it. Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I really did like this book. This is the first book in a series, but it's been many moons since I've read this first book, and I'd have to reread it to continue on with the series, and I just don't feel the need to. All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. I did not get to this one, but I haven't heard the best things about it, so I decided to part with it. If you have been on my channel for any length of time, you will know that I was an unpopular opinion, and I did not care for The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood, so this copy has to go. This is an old copy that I have. It's a library copy. I did enjoy this book, but it is time to see it off my shelves, as it is, like I said, an ex-library copy, and that's going to be Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Also, if you've been around on my channel, you know that I did not care for this next book, and that is going to be Girls of a Paper and Fire by Natasha Nyan, and it's also a ripped copy, so we'll be getting rid of that. To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. This is a book that I did not read. I haven't heard the best things about it, and decided just to unhaul it off the shelves. Razor Blade Tears by S.A. Cosby. You know I had an unpopular opinion on this. It was fine. I didn't get the hype around it, and it will be going off my shelves. A Darker Shade of Magic by V. Schwab. Now, I did give this first book 3 stars, but again, 3 stars is not enough to remain on my shelf, and I will be continuing on with this series, but I just don't feel the need to have a copy. The Rook by Daniel O'Malley. If you watched one of my recent wrap-ups, you'll know that I DNF'd this, and while I think that it is great for some people that like humor and all of that, it just did not hit with me. The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. I read it, and it was just disappointed, and I don't want to continue on with the series. I gave it like 30 stars. Recently read Small Favors by Erin A. Craig, and this was a disappointment. One of my most anticipated releases. I think it came out last year, and unfortunately it just did not hit with me. It was fine. It was 3 stars, but nothing to keep it on my shelves. However, this is a gorgeous cover. And then we're in the Ashes by Sabatier. I said in my wrap-up that the only reason I'm getting rid of this beautiful hardcover copy is it has water damage. I don't know if you can see that the pages are all wrinkly at the bottom. And I'm going to be getting a matching cover to the copies that are now out. Everlost by Neil Schusterman. Why I thought this was fine. It did need to remain on my shelf because I will not be continuing on with the series. We have Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This should not be a shocker. I didn't care for this book, and it's gonna go. Every Heart Away by Shauna McGuire. I have pretty much decided to DNF this series. These are short little novellas, and I don't really want to buy the rest of them. So, because they're all just like, some of them were 4 stars, but majority of them were 3 stars, and I just didn't really need to keep them. The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. It was fine. It was when I read it, but it was not very memorable to me, and care to keep it. The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. This is a witch retelling that was fine, again, but nothing to write home about. The 10,000 Doors of January by Alexi Haro. I loved this book when I read it. I gave it 4 stars. I actually had to reread it for one of my book club challenges, and upon reread it was still the same. It was enjoyable. It was 4 stars, but I just don't feel the need to keep it onto my shelves. The Boy on the Bridge. This is the companion novel to The Girl with All the Gifts, and I am not going to read it. I've heard terrible things, and so it can go. The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. This book, I actually unhauled the rest of my Witcher series. I kept the 2 short story collections, but now that there's a beautiful illustrated edition, I'm going to get rid of this mass market paperback and hopefully get the beautiful illustrated edition. And Alexander McCall Smith, the #1 ladies detective agency. This is the first in the series. Listen, if you are looking for a snarky, funny, with detective lady who's solving mysteries, this is it for you. I really enjoyed it when I read it. She was a great main character, but I don't feel the need to continue on, so it can go. Never Let You Go by Chevy Stevens, another kind of thriller mystery book that I read and will not read again. The Dry by Jane Harper. This is, I enjoy Jane Harper's works. This was a duology, I think. I read the first one, it was fine. I never continued on with the second. Frankly in Love by David Yoon. I liked this when I read it just fine, but not enough to keep it on the shelves. Girls with Sharp Sticks. This is a ripped cover. I did like this book. I gave it 4 stars, I believe, when I read it, but I recently decided that I would not continue on with the series because I'd heard not so great things about the continuations. This pains me to say that The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith is going to go into the Unhaul pile. I DNF'd this. This was actually one of my most anticipated reads. I was looking so forward to reading it, but again, I DNF'd this, and so that's sad. The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. I have heard not so great things about this, so decided to go ahead and unhaul it off of my shelves. What Comes After by Joanne Tompkins. I read this, it was fine. I gave it 3 stars, I think, and I don't feel the need to keep it. Finally got rid of The Darkest Minds by Alexander Bracken. I don't think that I will read it, and if I do want to read it someday, pick it off my shelves, I can get it from the library. It is quite a good floppy paperback though. I am gonna get rid of this mass market paperback yellowed copy of The Stand by Stephen King. Listen, if I'm gonna read The Stand, I may get it on Kindle. Because, I mean, while this is enjoyable, I don't even know if I'm ever going to read this book. This is so chunky, and you know how I am about reading chunky books. So, Ink and Bone by Rachel Kane, rest in peace. I originally had some interest in this series, but now I just have heard meh things about it, so I decided to part with it. I have not read it. And last but not least, I have gotten rid of The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I haven't heard the best things about this author. I did not read this one, and I will be just unhauling it on my shelf, hauling it from my shelf before reading it. So that's it. That is all the unhaul. And my birthday is coming up. It is next month, and so I will probably come back with a haul for you guys. And I'm really excited. I might buy myself some things now that I have room on my shelves. So excited. Let me know if you are disappointed that I'm unhauling any of these books. And I will catch you guys next time. I hope your reading is going all kinds of well in the month of May.